Hello, in this school guide video we're going to talk about studying in the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So, Chapel Hill is a city in the state of North Carolina in the United States, and we're going to take a look at what it's like to live in Chapel Hill and what are the career prospects and what it's like to study in the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So, this is a map of the United States, and the state of North Carolina is located over here. The red thing that you see here is abbreviated NC for North Carolina, and is located in the Eastern time zone, and there are Central time zone here, Mountain time zone here, Pacific time zone here, and there's important cities like Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all in North Carolina. And so this is an enlarged map of the state of North Carolina. So on the north we have Virginia, state of Virginia. On the west we have the state of Tennessee. On the south we have Georgia and South Carolina. And on the east we have the Atlantic Ocean. So this is an enlarged map of the state of North Carolina. So the important cities are Raleigh, which is like the capital, and then there's Durham. And Chapel Hill is just 25 miles south of Durham. And then we have Charlotte down here, and Asheville, Morgantown, and then Fayetteville, Jacksonville, and there's Kitty Hawk up there. That's where the Wright brothers took their first flight. So let's talk about the weather of North Carolina. Average daily maximum is around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It can get quite hot in summers, and in most locations it can get quite hot in summers, and the fall season is very pleasant, and the winters are mild and also pleasant. It doesn't really get too cold. Average about 45 inches of rain a year. So July storms account for much of this precipitation. So as much as 15% of the rainfall during the warm season in the Carolinas can be attributed to tropical cyclones. So winters are slightly cold, but you can manage with a sweater or a pullover. The mountains usually see some snow in the fall and the winters. Coastal plain averages around 1 inch of snow or ice annually. So usually you don't see snow in North Carolina except for maybe 2 or 3 days or a week in a year. So you'll see a dusting of some snow, and there might be some ice on the streets, and you can't even see the ice. So if you're driving in those days when it snows, you have to be very, very careful. You have to get special chains on your tires of your car. Make sure you don't skid. Usually there's a lot of traffic accidents and jams during that time. And if it's usually snowing like every year in Michigan, or like Boston, is like the state salts the roads every year, and they're used to in the winters, and they make sure there are not too many accidents and skidding. But if it's only going to like snow for like a few days in a year, then there's ice over there and you can't see the ice, and they don't know where exactly to salt, and then it causes a lot of skidding and people slip and fall and all these things happen. So in those few days people usually carpool or take like public transport. So this is a temperature graph of average temperature in North Carolina. So it can go like below 0 degrees Celsius in the winters, and it can get quite hot up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in the summers. Some quick facts about North Carolina. The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill is the oldest state university in the United States. In 1903, the Wright brothers made the first successful powered flight by man at Kill Devil Hill near Kitty Hawk. The Wright Memorial at Kitty Hawk now commemorates their achievement. High Point is known as the furniture capital of the world. Whitewater Falls in Transylvania County is the highest waterfall in the eastern United States. Krispy Kreme donut was founded in Winston-Salem in North Carolina. Top cities of North Carolina include Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, and Chapel Hill. Size approximately 19.69 square miles. Population approximately 60,000 as of the year 2016. Interesting facts: Chapel Hill is a city in Orange County, North Carolina, and the home of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and also the UNC Healthcare. So it's a public university, and it's usually much less expensive than private universities. Chapel Hill, Durham, and Raleigh make up the three corners of the research triangle so named in 1959 with the creation of Research Triangle Park, a research park between Durham and Raleigh. Chapel Hill is located in the southeast corner of Orange County. It is bounded on the west by the town of Carrboro and on the northeast by the city of Durham. Top universities of North Carolina: Duke University, Durham; University of North Carolina, Charlotte; University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill; North Carolina State University, Raleigh. So Tier 2 universities of North Carolina. So there's University of North Carolina, Asheville; University of North Carolina, Greensboro; University of North Carolina, Pembroke; University of North Carolina, Wilmington. So they all fall under the University of North Carolina system of universities. Wake Forest University, Winston-Salem State University, that falls under the state university system. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So this is the logo of the university, and then so some of the quick facts include the first public institution of higher education in North Carolina. The school opened its doors to students on February 12, 1795. So it's probably more than 2 centuries old. So this is a beautiful campus, lots of greenery and flowers. It's a really, really nice place to live in. I've been to Raleigh quite a few times. I had an uncle who lived there a few years ago. Lots of jobs too in the Research Triangle Park. Lots of top-notch companies, and it's not very expensive. So, history of University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, also known as UNC, or simply Carolina, is a co-educational public research university located in Chapel Hill. That's about half an hour drive from south of Durham. So it's half an hour from Raleigh or Durham. Chartered in 1789, the university first enrolled students in 1795. One of the oldest public universities in the United States. UNC Chapel Hill is one of the original 8 public Ivy schools that are claimed to provide Ivy League experience for public schooling prize. The university offers degrees in over 70 courses of study through 14 colleges and the College of Arts and Sciences. UNC Chapel Hill department rankings. So the business school MBA program is ranked like somewhere in the top 16. Remember that these rankings are only indicative of the approximate rank. Remember that these ranks change every year, but they don't usually jump too much. So if it's ranked 16 one year, next year it's not going to be like ranked all the way at 70 or 80. It's usually going to be something around that usually. And different systems of rankings have different ranks. So US News has a different system of ranking, and President Review offers different ranking. So for business school, it's ranked like top 16 in the US. Electrical engineering is less than 100 in the US. Computer science is like top 23 in the US. Mechanical engineering about top 89 in the US. Chemical engineering top 39 in the US. Civil engineering is like lower than 100, but it's still a popular destination for a lot of Indian students. Medical school is one of the top 20 medical schools. Very prestigious and competitive, difficult to get in. Law school is around top 38 for the JD program. UNC Keenan Flagler B School. So this is the Keenan Flagler Business School. Really a popular MBA program. So ranked 16 for MBA in US. Acceptance rate about 38.8%. GMAT score about 710. Average undergraduate GPA about 3.5. Program duration 21 months. Annual tuition about $59,000. Average starting salary for MBA graduates from Keenan Flagler approximately $101,000 per annum. $101,000 per annum. So they can easily get a 6-figure income. And UNC Chapel Hill, the computer science department. So this is the computer science department building. Really beautiful campus, a lot of greenery and flowers. And then there's it's ranked like top 23 for computer science in the US. Acceptance rate about 30.8%. Average GRE score about 163. We don't know what the average undergraduate GPA is, but it's very competitive. And the program duration is about 2 years for a master's in computer science. Annual tuition about $28,700. Average starting salary about $56,700. So let's talk about the engineering department. This is a picture of the engineering department. It probably houses multiple engineering departments out there. So then this is a picture of the electrical engineering department. So it's a really beautiful campus. It's ranked less than 100 for electrical engineering. So do note that the same university may be ranked top 20 for medical school, and the same university is ranked like around top 40 for law school, and the same university may be like in top 30 for computer science but lower than 100 for electrical, and again like in top 60 for chemical, again lower than 100 for civil. Each department has a different ranking. Okay, even though the university overall is considered prestigious, if you're applying, you might want to consider the ranking of the particular department and subject. That's really important. So acceptance rate about 33.4%, average GRE score 163, average undergraduate GPA 3.5, program duration about 2 years, annual tuition about $16,000 per annum. We don't know what the average starting salary is, couldn't find it on the internet. And then this is a picture of the mechanical engineering department, and acceptance rate again 33.4%. It's ranked like top 89 in the US. Even though it's not ranked very high, it's still a popular destination for a lot of Indian students. So the average GRE score is 163, average undergraduate GPA is 3.5, program duration about 2 years, annual tuition about $16,700, average starting salary about $67,000. UNC Chapel Hill Chemical Engineering Department. So this is a picture of the chemical engineering department. So it's ranked lower than 100 for chemical engineering in the US. Acceptance rate about 30%. Average GRE score about 164. Average UGPA is about 3.5. Program duration about 2 years. Annual tuition about $21,700. Average starting salary about $56,700. So the chemical engineering department, even though it's not in the top 100, it has, well, there are a lot of companies out there which do recruit people from campus from these departments. And I've also noticed a trend that a lot of people from chemical, civil engineering, they end up in doing software jobs too. That's again something you probably can keep in mind. Unless you really want to do a research in chemical engineering, like do a PhD or like, work for a chemical company. Most students, if they graduate and they realize they can't find a job in a chemical company, I've seen a lot of them switch over to like software, quality assurance and stuff. So by the way, just so you know, I've got videos about complete quality assurance training and complete agile best practices training. These are skills that you can equip yourself with to survive in the IT industry, in the software industry. Earlier we used to charge so much money for training candidates in agile best practices and QA training. Now I put all the videos completely free on Coolgrad, so please check it out. So this is the civil engineering department building. It's also ranked lower than 100 in the US. This is a picture of the medical school of University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So this is a picture, these are some details about the medical school. It's like ranked in the top 20. Acceptance rate about 3.8%. Average MCAT score 32, pretty high. Average UGPA 3.73. Program duration 4 years for an MD program. Annual tuition about $48,700. Average starting salary about $101,500. So the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill Law School. So this is a picture of the law school. So ranked 38 for law in the US, and acceptance rate about 44.8%. Average LSAT score. LSAT is law school admission test. LSAT score average is about 161. Average undergraduate GPA about 3.5. Program duration about 3 years for JD. Annual tuition about $39,700. Average starting salary about $76,500. So famous alumni from UNC Chapel Hill. So we have William Brantley Aycock, that's former Chancellor of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Gilles Brinkley, journalism Pulitzer Prize winner for international reporting. Claudia Emerson, creative writing Pulitzer Prize winner for poetry. Vermont Royster, Pulitzer Prize winner for editorial writing, former editor of the Wall Street Journal. Andy Griffith, actor, comedian, writer, and producer. Indian restaurants in Chapel Hill. There's Vimila's Curry Blossom Cafe, Cholanad Restaurant and Bar, Mint Indian Cuisine, Raga Restaurant and Lounge, Guru Indian Restaurant. There are quite a few restaurants around Chapel Hill. So the cost of living in Chapel Hill is pretty much like the cost of living in Durham. You would be spending about, like, say, $800, $900 a month for a one-bed, one-bath apartment, and a two-bed apartment would cost about $1,300 to $1,600. So usually you'll be sharing it with somebody, and so the cost of living is very normal. You know, it's comparable to Texas or Atlanta, and it's certainly not as expensive as Boston or New York or California. And Chapel Hill is, you know, very close. It's part of the, like, you know, Research Triangle Park. There are lots of companies over there. It's a good place to be in, nice weather, a very reasonable cost of living, and a very prestigious university, especially for the MBA and the computer science departments. So, and also the med school and law school. And there are also a lot of dual degree programs. And the last time I spoke to students of this university, quite a few of them had, like, teaching assistantships and research assistantships, and some of them had funding, like tuition waivers and scholarships too. I'm talking about, like, international students. So, you know, the funding situation may not be, like, excellent, but even the Keenan Flagler Business School is known to offer, like, tuition fee waivers and some kind of scholarships to MBA students, because they want to attract, like, you know, top students into their university. So with a high GMAT scores, like, you know, universities like Harvard and Wharton and Stanford, usually they don't give too many tuition waivers and scholarships and stuff, because people are craving to get into these universities. They've already got a brand name that they can encash, and they don't give too many scholarships. But, you know, business schools and other, you know, departments which are ranked, like, between 30 and 50, they want to try and attract top-notch students with very high GMAT scores, because it boosts their ranking somehow when they show that people with such high GMAT scores have enrolled at their business schools. So the last time I spoke to students over here at the MBA program, you know, some people did have scholarships apart from teaching assistantships and research assistantships. So it's a really good and popular MBA school. Okay, so I hope you got a good insight into what it's like to study at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Thank you.